Martin, Kudrna.
The cloud was just a step. Now, the rules change. The biggest change in IT may not be cloud or artificial intelligence. It is the realization that none of what we considered the future necessarily has to be, and that the systems we wanted to replace may not need replacing at all. When you talk with Martin Kudrna about AI, you start asking a fairly simple question. Can anything still be said with certainty today? The answer may matter less than the feeling something big is happening. We would like to inform you that this voice recording was created by artificial intelligence. A few years back, you said we'd one day not need a keyboard or mouse. How does it feel to live with that vision?
Badly. It sounds funny, but there's a grain of truth in it. Looking back, I wonder whether I should have tried to do some things differently. 10 years ago, I was already telling developers to stop building systems the old way and instead write robots to do the work for them. They laughed at me then. To them it was nonsense, and in the context they worked in, it didn't make sense. They're not laughing now. For me, it's a strange moment. I know my thinking is being proved right, yet I keep asking whether I should have pushed harder. I feel this odd combination of satisfaction and mild frustration.
What's happening today in enterprise systems?
For a long time, the direction of development felt clear. We understood the trajectory, the shift from old legacy systems into the cloud on a SaaS model. It wasn't always easy, but we knew where we were going and why. That has now changed, not overnight, but fundamentally. Suddenly, we're no longer sure cloud and the SaaS model are truly the right path. Perhaps they're not. The technology world changes almost daily. Customer needs change, technology changes, the way systems work changes. Really, the only thing we know for certain is that it will be different from what we imagined.
What's the biggest change for you?
For me, the key thing now is that the cloud is no longer decisive. I always saw it as a huge help that would free us from a lot of thankless work. Running a system for thousands of customers means endless support. Calls, emails, complaints. Ideally, the cloud meant we'd get all that under control. We'd see what was happening and respond before the customer even noticed a problem. The system just works and nobody worries about anything. That was huge value. Now we're reaching a point where the original setup bothers us less. It turns out that if we build another layer on top of existing systems, some kind of orchestration or governance layer, the problem disappears in a completely different way. We don't have to rewrite systems painfully or migrate customers, and that fundamentally changes the rules of the game.
So at that point, is the SaaS model safe or in danger?
SaaS is a commercial and operational model. We deliver software, maintain and manage it more effectively, and customers pay for it. As long as they pay, they have it. Honestly, it's really a form of dependency. Once you've built your business on such a system, your data, your processes, everything is inside. You can't just walk away. And the provider can, to some extent, dictate the terms. The problem starts when the reason customers rent it begins to disappear. In the past, software was too complex for customers to build or modify themselves. Today, that complexity is dissolving. So once customers can manage a lot without our help, they'll logically ask why they should keep paying for the model. Imagine a client contacts you wanting to add some functionality. We estimate the price and time it will take, and that afternoon they call to say they've already done it themselves and just need us to enable the connection. Nothing more, and that's the last we hear from them.
Does that really happen?
Yes, and we essentially have two options. Either close access, let no one in, protect the system, and say it must run only through us. That can work for a while, mainly where customers don't have anyone capable of doing this kind of work themselves. Or open up access, give it an interface, let people connect and build on top of it, while still controlling what happens inside and how the service is charged. To me, the second path is more sustainable because it's more trustworthy, and because the illusion that you can protect software so well nobody can take it apart and rebuild it differently is today rather hollow.
What can save the business for companies like Seyfor then?
For us, three things are key. Customers, know-how, and data. Technology changes, but the customer relationship and understanding of what they do remain. So does people's ability to grasp context and connect the dots, even as much gets automated. Data is where things are breaking today. Everyone knows it's critical, yet most have a mess on their hands. Their data isn't clean or structured, and they expect AI to sort it out for them. But AI will, at best, expose the problem of bad data rather than solve it. At worst, it amplifies it. Also, the price may change. Right now, AI feels almost free, but that may not last. Once it genuinely starts replacing human work, the price could look very different. And that's already happening. So yes, data can keep us in the game, but only if we know how to work with it. Otherwise, it's just another layer on top of something broken.
Let's go back to what you said at the start. The layer running on top of existing systems. How should it be built?
We already have tools that can interact with an application the way a human would. They see what's on screen, click, fill in a form, decide what to do next. It's not trivial because systems are complex and each works differently. But the principle is simple. Instead of rewriting everything, you teach the machine how to work with it. Once that runs at scale, the way we use systems will change completely.
At Seyfor, you look after various markets and products. What's the hardest part?
Finding the right rhythm. Every market differs. Different culture, way of operating, expectations. What works in the Czech Republic may not work in Serbia or Hungary. You arrive with a vision of how the collaboration should work, then gradually discover you need to adjust it. For me, the hardest part is finding the right frequency, how often to talk to people, what to ask of them, and how. I'm still searching for that rhythm. I feel I'm starting to get there, but it's not something you set once and it runs by itself.
What helps you?
Frizzante and Aperol. No, seriously, I'm trying to build a system around myself that lets me run this fragmented portfolio without needing another large team. Ideally, I need a basic overview of what's happening where and the ability to get to detail quickly if something's off, what the roadmap looks like, which projects are running, what we've won, the numbers, whether teams are at capacity, what the market's doing, how to respond and adjust strategy, the kind of things you normally know sitting in a single company. Except here you have several countries, several products, different business models, and totally different customers. Plus the language barrier. Once I have the source material and set my digital team loose on it, I'll get the outputs I need. I think within weeks, my AI agent team will be developed enough to effectively manage the whole portfolio for me, so I know what's happening where and where my help is needed at any moment.
If you look a few years ahead, what do you see as the most realistic scenario?
I think we're heading into a period that won't be straightforward. Development is extremely fast and runs up against reality. Companies, processes, and people change more slowly, so tension will inevitably build and show. It may turn out well. New professions will emerge and we'll all find our place, as has happened before in history. But there's a second scenario, a turbulent period that may not end well. We may have to go through a crisis before the world settles into some kind of equilibrium and we reach prosperity.
Thank you very much.